Hello there, Rip City. Welcome into Blazers Game Day. I'm your host, Chris Burkhart, filling in for Chad Doing today. He's currently sitting there in Studio C inside Moda Center, waiting to take over. I'm going to hand him the baton. He'll have your Blazers pregame show across the Trailblazers radio network at 3 o'clock. And then, of course, at 4 o'clock, it is Blazers versus Wizards right here on your home of the Blazers, Rip City Radio. 620. How we feeling today, Rip City? It's been an interesting little schedule here for the Blazers, as just a few nights ago in Charlotte, it was, I think, I wish I knew who I saw post this so I could give them proper credit, but I saw someone on Twitter post that it was the game 7 of the tankathon, right? Because it was like Charlotte, Portland, winner is the loser, because whoever loses the game stands to jump in the rankings. And you know what? Charlotte, they took the L as the Blazers grabbed the victory. And it was one of those situations where I know people get upset when their teams don't lose, when they're in the thick of getting a higher draft pick. But you know what? Sometimes winning is just important. And I liked this win. You can see the videos that have been posted by the team and go into the locker room after the game where they were celebrating, where Jabari Walker had a career high 22 rebounds. And there was that was a happy basketball team. That was a happy basketball team right there. You could tell that they were excited to get a W, and those things matter. And so I'm not upset by that at all. I know some of you are, and that's okay. But, you know, the Blazers, they see if they can make it 2 in a row tonight now that the win-loss is not locked in, right? They're not locked into that 5th spot anymore. But somewhere along the line, San Antonio and Charlotte would have to win 2 more. Had to have to win 2 games down the line. Portland would have to lose out for them to get tied again. San Antonio does have 2 winnable games on their schedule remaining. They have Memphis and this Washington team. Charlotte, though, they don't really have a winnable game on the rest of their schedule. So it's still going to be interesting. Not locked into 5 mathematically yet. Still plenty of moving that could go on. But a situation here where that win in Charlotte did definitely hurt their chances of moving up, at least into their draft odds. It doesn't hurt their odds necessarily of moving up because, again, this is a lottery. So they could still end up with the number 1 overall pick. You never know. We'll see when we get there. But let's take a look at this game that did go down in Charlotte just the other night. The Blazers, like I said, they were losers of 10 in a row, and they needed a victory in the worst way. Of course, some people did want them to keep losing, but in this one, it was a very, very low scoring affair. Portland did come out hot. They outscored Charlotte 30-21 in the first quarter, but then they scored just 15 in the second. Charlotte scored 23 there. They both scored 22 in the third. Portland outscored Charlotte 22-20 in the fourth to pick up the 89-86 victory. And it was interesting because down the stretch, I mean, they had a chance to ice it. Scoot Henderson misses 2 from the line. Charlotte goes down, has a chance to take the lead, and Brandon Miller misses a hook shot. Jabari Walker gets the rebound, goes to the line, hits some free throws. Boom, they ice it. Right, 89-86 final score. And there's definitely some standout performances when you look at the box score. First off, let's go to Jabari Walker. He was the story of the game. He had 42 minutes played, but 14 points. That's you can look at that and go, oh, that's pretty good. He was 4 of 17 shooting. That's not too great. But you know what? He missed shots, and I'll let him do it because he pulled down a career high 22 rebounds, every single one crucial for the team's success. I mean, you look at the rebound numbers. Portland out-rebounded Charlotte 55-36. That is an unreal discrepancy right there, especially when you consider that Charlotte beat Portland at the free throw line. They made 17 free throw attempts. Portland made just 8, right? I mean, they had 5 more makes from the line than Portland had attempts. And usually you see a discrepancy like that, a 9-point discrepancy. That team tends to win. I mean, you look at the Miami game. That was a tight game. Miami wins because they were +9 from the free throw stripe. So, excuse me, not Miami, Orlando. Yeah, Miami won by 100. That's a completely different game. Orlando, though, they were +9 from the free throw stripe. So those points are there and they matter in the end. But Portland was able to balance that out by just dominating on the glass, which you absolutely love to see. Also, DeAndre Ayton, another solid game from him, kind of back to the way he was a couple weeks ago. 24 points, 16 rebounds, 10 of 22 shooting. I mean, you take Jabari Walker and DeAndre Ayton alone, that's what, 38 rebounds between the two of them. Just those two players out rebounded the Charlotte Hornets. That's pretty incredible. Also, Scoot Henderson, a good 22 point, 10 assist performance. We'll talk about that a little bit more here when we get to What's the Scoot here in the coming segments. But yeah, Jabari Walker was the story of this one. 14 points, like I said, 22 rebounds. We'll hear from him a little bit later in the show. Dwap Reith, he had 7. Delano Banton chipped in 12 off of the bench. Looking at what Charlotte was able to do, Brandon Miller, the number 2 overall pick in last year's draft. This was billed as the matchup between him and Scoot. He had 21 points, 2 rebounds, assist, 2 steals, and a block shot. He shot 9 of 20 from the floor, but he did lead the Hornets in scoring. Trey Mann had 11 points. JT Thor had 9. Davis Bertans had 7 off the bench. Pokachevsky had 11, and not a ton else from everybody else. I mean, they only scored 86 points in the game. You look at the scoreboard report that night, only 3 teams in the NBA, and there was a lot of games. Only 3 teams in the NBA scored fewer than 100 points, and 2 of them lost. Toronto was the other. Those 3 teams all scored in the 80s. Portland scored 89 points and won. So it was a sloppy little game. I don't think this one you watch and you might look at the box score and go, oh man, defenses, they definitely showed up in this one. No, it wasn't a defensive ball game. It was just a sloppy game between 2 just rookie laden, youth filled teams, missing just so many of their star talent. I mean, obviously, LaMelo Ball not playing for the Hornets. It's just, it it is what it is. Bridges didn't play for the Hornets either. And then obviously got Portland, no Shaden Sharp, no Anthony Simons, no Jeremy Grant. And of course, we'll get to that a little bit later too. When we get to our updated injury reports going into this one. But again, final score 89-86. Blazers pick up a victory. So now things are interesting because again, Portland does sit now 2 games ahead. I don't know how you want to chalk it up, but they're 2 games behind San Antonio and Charlotte, who have the 3rd worst records in the NBA. They are tied there at 18 and 58. Portland 20 and 56. So, and as Travis Demers pointed out on the broadcast, like if these 2 teams end up tied at the end of the year, it doesn't matter who won the season series. All that matters is who wins the coin flip, because that's how that position is going to be decided. It's going to be decided via a coin flip. So those are things you have to consider too. So if San Antonio wins 2 games and Portland loses out, or Charlotte loses 2 games and Portland loses out, then you're right back in a position where you're going to flip that coin, and maybe you have a 3-way tie and Portland can still end up in the 3rd spot. Unfortunately, though, I don't see a lot of moving here because we can look at the San Antonio schedule the rest of the way. They do have a game tonight against the Pelicans. Then they get the 76ers at home, on the road at Memphis, which I'm chalking up as a winnable game. Memphis is not great this year as they deal with injuries and no Ja Morant. Then they got on the road at OKC, which will be tough. Then they have their final 2 games of the year at home against Denver. You never know how Denver's doing. It could be a rest scenario where they got some guys just sitting out, just getting ready for the playoff run. Either way, even a team that's resting stars in Denver is a good team. And then they end the season at home against the Pistons, which is another winnable game. So I do see 2 winnable games for San Antonio on their schedule. Not so much for the Hornets. The Hornets have Orlando, OKC, Dallas, Atlanta, Boston, and Cleveland left on their schedule. Now, of course, you can point out to just a few weeks ago when they beat the Cavaliers 118 to 111. So you never know. Crazy things could happen. But I do look at this schedule and see maybe 1 win the rest of the way for Charlotte. But I highly, highly doubt that. So probably the most likely team to end up there in 3rd. And Portland, if they play like they did in Charlotte or Orlando, then there's a high chance they grab this win tonight in Washington. Washington is not a good team at all. There is no stretch of the imagination that says Washington is a good team or a team that anybody can have confidence in to win a game. So Portland can go in there and win this one. And again, if Portland wins this one, the rest of the way, they have Boston, playoff team, Pelicans, playoff team, Warriors, playoff team, Rockets, still holding on to hope as a playoff team, and the Kings, who are a playoff team. So things are not easy for Portland the rest of the way either. But I still see this one, probably Charlotte. I mean, they gained a lot of ground with that loss, and then they might have the closest, the best road to finishing number 3 overall. And for those of you who do wonder what that all means, I know some of you got it down pat. You remember it like the back of your hand. But if you're number 3, then you're ending up in that position there where you got your 14 overall percent. 1, 2, and 3 have a 14% chance of getting the number 1 overall pick. The number 4 team will have a 12.5% chance, and then the number 5 team will have a 10.5% chance. So we'll see how that one again all shakes out down the road. Toronto, they do have they are 3 games behind Portland, and that's probably going to stick because they have 23 wins, and I don't think Portland's going to win 3 down the road with how they've been playing, and then that kind of gauntlet they have to end the season. So this is full on just enjoy the moment here. If they win this game tonight, they win it. Doesn't hurt to win it at all. And you know what? It is what it is. Get more Scoot, get more DA getting in his groove. Let me see what you got from Rayon Rupert, because that's important too. He's looked good getting some starts, and I don't know, just this is now full on developmental time for this team because again, nobody is playing. We'll get an updated injury report throughout the show here, but as of yesterday, this is what we're looking at. Malcolm Brogdon, Tamani Kamara, Shaden Sharp, Anthony Simons, Matisse Thybulle, Robert Williams III listed as out. Jeremy Grant listed as doubtful as he continues to deal with that right hamstring strain. And then Justin Minaya and Ibu Baji are both questionable. So there are not a lot of bodies available for your Portland Trailblazers here in the nation's capital. All right, I am Chris Burkhardt. This is Blazers Game Day. If you want to join the conversation, you can dial 503-248-0620 to get on the telephone line, or you can go to youtube.com, type in Rip City Radio, and you can start the comment sections off. Tell me how you're feeling, good, bad, or indifferent. Of course, you can hit me up on Twitter at Chris J. Burkhardt. We'll take a break here on the pregame show. When we come back, it's time for What's the Scoot? We'll talk about the Blazers rookie who had one heck of a game against Charlotte. We'll even hear what he had to say following that game. Chris Burkhardt here on your home of the Blazers, Rip City Radio 620. Welcome back into Blazers Game Day. Chris Burkhart here with you. You can follow me on Twitter at Chris J. Burkhart. Filling in for Chad Doing today. He's at Studio C right now. He'll have your Blazers pregame show across the Trailblazers Radio Network at 3 o'clock. But it's time now for What's the Scoot? And taking a look at the game Scoot Henderson had against the Charlotte Hornets. It was a good game, man. 22 points, 10 assists, 9 of 16 shooting, which you like to see because he's had some up and down shooting numbers. 4 of 7 from deep. It almost as if he had a chance to finally play against Brandon Miller and wanted to, prove himself. Like, yeah, I was 3, he was 2. Let me show you what I got. Did have that double-double. And here's the thing. He now has 4 20-point, 10-assist game this year to lead all rookies. In fact, no other rookie has a 20-point, 10-assist game. Scoot Henderson has 4 of them, and he has tied Damian Lillard for second all-time on the Blazers rookie leaderboard for 20-point, 10 assists, double-double. So good category for Scoot to be in. And it's interesting because everyone wants to talk about how the rookie season's been bad and it's just he's a bust. And then you look at some of the numbers he's puts up and you're like, no, he has put himself in some pretty elite category when it comes to rookies. Now, it's easy to be upset that he's not out there averaging 20 and 10 every single night. I mean, there are some rookies who come in and they just look the part from day one. Dame was one of them. We've seen it from Ja Morant, right? He looked the part from day one. It was quite obvious that he was an absolute stud. And then you get other guys who, you can tell that there's something there, but they struggle a little bit. I mean, like I talk about all the time, his Scoot Henderson's rookie numbers on par with guys like Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. They're on par with guys like Russell Westbrook, who went on to become an MVP. And again, say what you will about his stat padding. He was incredible in his prime, right? So you never know. I just look at the things and realize, hey, he's doing a lot of things really well. He's slowly starting to learn what he needs to do. And yeah, there's only a handful of games left, but now he gets to tackle the offseason with some ferocity, which is nice. Didn't really get a chance to last year. There was no time to worry about his shot or what he needs to do. It was more like, yeah, I got to get fitted. I got to find out what size uniform I'm going to wear. Got to take these photos. Got to get to Vegas for Summer League. It was just go, 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 go for Scoot Henderson. And you know what? I think it's starting to pay off, though. I think he's finally starting to play some good basketball. And you know what? When you win a game, everyone wants to talk to all the guys in the locker room. So let's hear what Scoot had to say following the 89-86 win over the Hornets.
So first off, Scoot, just your thoughts on the game tonight. Obviously, getting off that 10-game losing streak's got to feel good for you guys.
It feels good to get a win, but got to hit those free throws and can't have any slips at the end of the game like that. And luckily, I got the late contest, but he missed it. But it's too clean of a look in my books, at least.
We were talking post game though. After the Orlando game, you had said that you wished you had maybe pulled up from your spot rather than driving into the lane, and you did that tonight in the fourth quarter. You hit that jumper, so it seemed like you some growth there maybe for you.
I mean, every game is a learning lesson. Really, I wasn't even thinking about like what I did last game. I'm just like get to the spot, and he sagged off, and I just wide open. So,
your thoughts on Jabari's game? Obviously, you talk about missing those free throws, but he hits the free throws, gets a ton of rebounds.
Whole game, I'm like, golly, another one. He just kept going. And Bari, he has games like that, and playing with somebody like Bari it's easy. It's fun because when he gets it, we out, and he's gonna run after the board. He's gonna run with me too. So, playing with a guy like Bari is fun. A lot of energy. Every time the ball go out, I'm like, I look at him and he go grab it. And tonight he was a magnet for the ball. And it was fun to watch, honestly. Him rebound the ball. You don't see guys like doing that. But
I'm sorry.
He's good.
Had you played against Brandon at all since you guys turned pro, even in the summer league, right?
Nah.
I don't think you guys played.
Yeah,
right?
nah. We have.
What was that like? And
It was fun. Knowing Brandon before, then us playing against each other, it was pretty solid. It was pretty cool. Just to go up with, good talent. You know what I mean? So young and good talent.
Is there any extra motivation with him being 2, you being 3?
Nah. Me coming here was though a little bit, but I really wasn't even thinking about that. It was more just like go out here and try to put on a show for the Hornets.
What stood out most to you about Brandon's game? Getting to go against him for the first time tonight.
Strap. He can shoot it. He can shoot it really well off the dribble, catch and shoot. He can shoot it really well. Like that really stuck out to me. He hit those big shots at the end. So when he hit those, I'm like, oh, damn, we got to score. We got to score. So it's fun playing.
And being a young player in the league as well, how important is these matchups and to go against him? Coach talk about it before the game also about how.
Yeah, I think just to go against each other early in our careers, like it's going to be even more fun, in the long run. It's just always clashing, whether it's me and him, me and Wimby, whatever the matchup is, me and Jaime, like, just guys, young guys that I came in the draft with. It's always fun.
And there you have Scoot Henderson following the game. I just love, like, he's such a wholesome character, man. And they're talking about Jabari, and he's just like, golly, like, you got another one. It's just like, I love it. It's just the wholesome content I'm here for. But again, you love that game, and it was a good chance to get up and go against Brandon Miller. Like he said, no summer league, wasn't available in the first game when Charlotte was in Portland. I think that was just after the All-Star break. And remember, Scoot went to All-Star break and aggravated that injury. So yeah, it was a good chance for them to get going, good chance for them to battle. And it was pretty awesome. It was pretty awesome. If you want to join the conversation, youtube.com, type in Rip City Radio. You can join the conversation there. You can grab your phone. 503-248-0620 is your telephone number. And I know I get called out for the things I wear on this show all the time. And, usually it's like, oh, you're wearing a Metallica shirt, or, you dress up for the show, Burkhart. And I do. I try to sometimes. I did a rapid reaction to a game a couple weeks ago wearing my OSAA shirt, and then I was called on Twitter, just, why is OSAA guy talking about the Blazers? Because I've covered this team for a decade. That's why I'm talking about the Blazers. Just wearing a OSAA shirt while I'm doing it. And today I'm wearing this guy, and you guys might be wondering, why am I wearing the Soñadores logo, also accompanied by the Hillsboro Hop logo on the polo? That's because it's opening day. Hillsboro Hops taken to the field today, man, and it's awesome. That baseball is back, and you can listen to every single Hillsboro Hop game right here on Rip City Radio 620. So that's fun, right? That's fun. I love baseball. Baseball is the absolute best. I need to get to some games out there at what is now called Hillsboro Ballpark, because it's no longer the Tonk. But no, I need to get out there. If I'm not producing a game here for Rip City Radio, I need to get out to Seattle too, just watch a Mariner game. I need to get my wife down to San Francisco. Why not watch a Giants game? But baseball season is the absolute best. So shout out to the Hops, or the Soñadores, which is also just objectively one of the best secondary logos in all of sports. I mean, just look at that thing. If you're watching on YouTube, we got the little Soñadores bobblehead. It's awesome. Awesome. Good branding. Shout out to the boys, Matt Rickert, Seth Hoyland, and Rich Burke, who'll be on the call all summer long for you. You guys might remember old Seth. He filled in for me a couple weeks ago doing the old fifth quarter with the Godfather. So shout out Hops. And when are we gonna get if I get to do the fifth quarter, when are we gonna get Hillsboro Hops the 10th inning with Chris Burkhart? Or I just get to talk baseball with you guys at 9:00 at night. Why not? I need more mic time. All right, we're going to take a quick break here on the big pregame show. And when we come back, we're going to head down to the Coach's Corner. We're going to hear from Coach Billups after that game, because I think you could hear the relief in his voice. It was just finally, it wasn't another loss. I mean, I think I heard Chad talk about it today on the show, or yesterday. He almost said Blazers fall. No, I meant Blazers win. I almost did the exact same thing. Got used to it, but no, they got that win in Charlotte, 89-86, and now they're in the nation's capital to take on the Wizards. The pregame show rolls on right here on your home of the Blazers, Rip City Radio 620. Welcome back into the Blazers pregame show, Blazers Game Day. That's right, Blazers Game Day. Blazers pregame show is coming up, though, at 3 o'clock across the Trailblazers Radio Network with Chad Doing. And then, of course, Blazers taking on the Washington Wizards at 4 o'clock right here on your home of the Blazers, Rip City Radio 620. But it is now time to head down to the Coach's Corner. Let's hear what Coach Billups had to say following that 89-86 victory for his Trailblazers.
Yeah, we did. We held on. They came on pretty good, at the end, and I thought I was very happy with us keeping our composure. The last probably 5-6 minutes, I thought Scoot was really good and just kind of slowing down, getting the ball to DA, where it should have been. Obviously, Jabari was a man amongst boys out there tonight, getting his career high and 23 rebounds and hitting the 2 big free throws, and then DA was just DA, he's just a dominant force down there. And once we were able to get him the ball, because I thought they did a good job, the Hornets, of taking away the pocket, so we had to kind of get creative and how to get him the basketball, and we did. And Scoop made the right reads, but so many guys played well.
In our walk-off interview, I was talking to Scoot about him being active and aggressive early offensively, but he quickly asked, "What did I get in assists?" He was more proud of in that department. What does that say about him?
That's who he is. That's who he is. I mean, he just cares about making everybody better. He always wants to make the team better. He knows that he does need to be aggressive in our pick and roll coverages, because when the point guard is aggressive and playing well, it just changes how you have to play, and then it opens everything else up. So he's right. He needed to be aggressive early. I thought he just played a really good floor game. For the most part, defensively, he was physical. He did what he had to do. He didn't get in foul trouble, which takes anybody off of their rhythm, naturally. So, yeah, I was happy. I was very happy for him.
Scooter talked after the game in Orlando. He was talking about that last play. He was like, I drove and I probably should have just kind of got to my spot, raised up and took a jumper.
Mm-hmm.
And he did that tonight in the fourth quarter. He got to the elbow and basically, instead of driving, rose up and hit it, which I thought kind of showed some growth in his game already, taking something that he felt like he didn't do right the night before and then applying it to the next night.
Well, Scooter's a very quick learner, and the best lessons you have to go through on your own. Obviously I could tell him that all year. I could tell him, or his teammates or anybody can tell him. But until he actually goes through it, and sometimes you got to bump your head to learn, So he would have loved to get a do-over in that Orlando game at the end, and he probably would have made a totally different decision. Well, here you go. You got to do over tonight, and he learned from his mistake, and that's just a great sign, man. That's just awesome. But it's also good for us to be able to allow him those opportunities, to learn. And some of them are tough, after Orlando game, and we could have got away and won. And then some of them you can get away with, like tonight.
Jabari, too. I mean, you always talk about how competitive he is, and I feel like a lot of rebounding is about being competitive and wanting to get it from the other guy. It seemed like tonight, like he just that one-hand rebound he had late in the game where he was by the baseline too, like you could just tell like he wasn't going to let anyone else get those rebounds.
Yeah, Barry was incredible. He was incredible. I thought, he really struggled, obviously, from the field. I think he was 1 for 10 at the half, but that's such a small part of Jabari's game. We depend on him for his defense. He's doing a really good job of guarding. I thought he had some incredible one-on-one defensive stops against Brandon Miller, and then just his rebounds. He has a knack for that ball, but like you said, rebounding is most of the time is about toughness, and you got to get in there and you got to go probably 4 times the amount of the times that you actually come up with the ball. It's a lot of empty trips when you go in there, but he's so competitive and he's so tough, and we needed every single one of them.
You guys forced multiple shot clock violations on Charlotte. I bet you love that.
I do. I mean, we play defense from the time that possession changes, and we pick up full a lot of times, and sometimes those become very long possessions. And man, we just lock in on it, and we when we're talking, when we're running around, we're moving around, we're helping each other. We don't miss a lot of helps. We make it very difficult, for teams to score sometimes. And I'm definitely proud of that.
The guys out there on the floor, just you can see that they're just so exhilarated. They're so excited. The energy was so high. How good does it feel just to come out with a win and for these guys too?
I mean, it's awesome, especially coming off of a game that we felt we could have and should have won against a really good team in Orlando. So just want to come out and validate what we felt, and I thought we did that, for the most part. And I'm just so happy for all of our guys. They played their butts off. We had a really good shoot around this morning, a lot of energy in there, and I thought it was good.
All right, there you hear from Coach Billups, and yeah, it's got to be awful nice to go in and win a game when it's they have been few and far between. Absolutely, they have. And you know what? I like the fact they went in there, took care of business, and got a win. And I know people get upset because they wanted the loss because it would have helped them in the rankings for the tankathon. But at the same time, sometimes the win matters, right? And I said this to you guys heard him on the fifth quarter. He hosted with me last week. But Keith Feltner Smith, I said this to him, like, dude, I watched the video of the team celebrating with Jabari Walker in the locker room. And like, that was a team that was happy. They were excited that they won. You can see the smiles on their faces, right? And it's like, so like, I'm not going to sit here and tell them they're wrong because they went out there and won and they shouldn't have. But like, no, that win matters in the long run. And it's so good that they won that game. And think about this when it comes to developing this young team, man. They won that game, and it wasn't on the back of Jeremy Grant and Anthony Simons and Matisse Thybulle, Malcolm Brogdon. No, it was on the back of a great double-double by Scoot Henderson, an incredible performance on the glass by Jabari Walker, DeAndre Ayton, who had a very slow start to the season, coming in and having another big game. Like, it's all these other players that are just getting that, that push that they need. DA doesn't, he's former number one overall pick, but to have that game, that's good. You love to see that, man. And then for guys like Jabari, you get that experience. For guys like Scoot, you get that big time experience, and Scoot's going to trial by fire, right? He misses or not misses, but goes in and gets triple teamed in Orlando and has to force the ball out. It's not a great pass. DA doesn't make the shot. They lose. Granted, the last 2-minute report did come out after that. Instead, he did get fouled. So, there is that. And then he gets another chance in Charlotte, but he misses 2 shots from the free throw line. But he shakes it off and ends the game strong. And, you find a way. Maybe the next time you put the ball in Scoot's hands, guess what? He makes that shot. So I like that. Not upset at all that they won. I like the fact that they won and the way they did it. You absolutely love to see that. Anyway, hey, fans, let me tell you what. In baseball, sometimes you can hit a single. Sometimes you strike out. Every once in a while, the bases are loaded. You get a grand slam, which is one of like the greatest things you can ever do. I've never done it, but I like watching it. And I sat here and I was just pubbing the Hillsboro Hops because I'm excited. Baseball's around the corner, right? I got the Sonia Dore shirt on. I got the Hops polo on. I am ready for summer in Hillsboro. And it does. It starts tonight at home against the Everett Aqua Sox. And here's the deal. If you want to go, I got your hookup right now. The first pitch is in what? First pitch is in 4.5 hours. All right. Plenty of time for you to change your plans. So if you want a 4-pack of tickets to opening day at Hillsboro Stadium against the Everett Aqua Sox to see the 2024 version of the Hillsboro Hops take the field tonight in Hillsboro, now's your chance. Caller number 1, 503-248-0620. First caller through wins a 4-pack to tonight's home opener in Hillsboro. Once again, that number, 503-248-0620. Caller number 1 wins a 4-pack to the home opener. I'd be calling. I'd be excited. I want to go watch the Hops, man. But no, I got to do baseball things. Or basketball things, excuse me. So no, once again, caller number 1, 503-248-0620. You will win a 4-pack of tickets. That's you and the missus and the kids, right? You got some options. Maybe it's you and your best buddy and a couple buddies to cross the street. Maybe it's you and then you tell 3 friends, hey, who wants to go? First 3 friends to text me, you get to go. So there's that. And guess what? If you are calling in and you don't win the 4-pack to tonight's home opener, I will have 2 more 4-packs to give away before the show's over. Tickets to tomorrow's game and tickets to Sunday's game out in Hillsborough. So don't worry. If you don't win this round, you will have a chance to win. And guess what? Now's a good time to call in, too. I mean, people aren't used to tickets being given away at 2 o'clock. They're used to that 3 to 6 Rip City Drive ticket giveaway time. That's what they're used to. But again, if you don't win them, get ready. Because guess what? I'm going to give away another pair to Saturday's game in the next segment. And then I'm going to give away a 4-pack to Saturday's game and a 4-pack to Sunday's game before the show is over. That's hyped right there. All right, let's take a quick break here on the pregame show. When we come back to Blazers Game Day, I'll give you a scoreboard report, take you around the league. Guess what? I'll also have you guys ready. I'll drop the number again, another 4-pack of Hillsborough Hop tickets, and plenty of more action. Actually, I think we're going to hear from Jabari Walker after that phenomenal performance in Charlotte. Chris Burkhart here with you. Blazers Game Day rolls on your home of the Blazers and your Hillsborough Hops. Rip City Radio 620. Welcome back in to Blazers Game Day. Time now for an NBA scoreboard report. Not a lot of action because the Blazers are one of the first teams to tip off tonight, but we do got a slate of action heading your way, a full slate. So 4 o'clock tips, you have Orlando at Charlotte, OKC at Indiana, your Trailblazers at the Wizards at 4:30 on NBA TV. You have the Kings at Celtics. At 5 o'clock, you got Knicks versus Bulls, Heat versus Rockets, Pistons at Memphis, Toronto at Milwaukee, San Antonio at New Orleans. At 5:30, you got Golden State taking on the Dallas Mavericks. At 7 o'clock on NBA TV, you have the Timberwolves taking on the Suns. And the final game of the night, 7:30 tip in Los Angeles, you have the Utah Jazz taking on the Los Angeles Clippers. And of course, you have two major games going on in the basketball world tonight. 4 p.m. tip-off, you have number 3 NC State taking on number 1 South Carolina for a spot in the NCAA Women's Basketball Championship game. And then at 6 o'clock, you have number 3 UConn taking on number 1 Iowa. Paige Buchers versus Caitlin Clark, a monstrous showdown winner to take on the winner of the NC State South Carolina game. Me, I'm rooting for South Carolina. They're the ones who I have winning that bracket. I think I ended up picking a South Carolina Iowa matchup. That's right. I really went out on a limb picking a 1 versus 1. Come on, Burkhart, live a little. But yeah, big games, big games. Wouldn't be surprised if UConn got the upset. Okay, would not be surprised if UConn got the upset. All right, we got game talk on our chat. This is what I love about being on YouTube, and you can go join the chat on YouTube. Just go type in Rip City Radio, and you can talk with Bricks and Joysticks and Jim in Fall River talking about Call of Duty and sharing game tags. Look at that. Like they just became best friends via the chat. So there you go. The two Xbox users talk. Bricks asked me if I've jumped into Call of Duty with and I'm like, no, I have not played Call of Duty in a while. I wasn't big. I know everyone likes jumping in and trying to win the battle royale or whatnot, but it's just Call of Duty is fun, but at the same time, it got stale for me. I got tired of being spawn killed, right? Sniped from across the map. Some guy come up against me and I can, give him all the ammo I have, but his knife gets me. I got tired of it. All right. I haven't played it for a while, but I got big into Apex Legends, Bricks and Joysticks. I liked that one, but then I moved from my PS4 to my PC and they didn't have cross progression. So then I just stopped playing. But I need to get it back into some good first person shooters. I do enjoy the Fortnite no build mode though. No build mode on Fortnite is fun. I don't like sitting there building, but yeah, you guys we can go play games sometimes. Captain Chaos F5. Follow me on Twitter. That's my gamer tag. I never tweet from it, but there you go. All right. I gave away 4 tickets to a Hops game earlier. I got another 4 pair. So if you want to go to the game tomorrow night against the Everett Aqua Sox, caller number 1, again, why not? 503-248-0620. Caller number 1, 503-248-0620. Once again, that number, y'all should have it memorized by now. 503-248-0620. Caller number 1 will win a 4-pack to see the Hillsboro Hops in action tomorrow night at Hillsboro Ballpark. All right, now more on your Portland Trailblazers here, man. Again, the win the other night in Charlotte, I liked it for various reasons. I just like the fact the team went out there and fought. I like the fact that it was Jabari Walker and Scoot Henderson and a lot of these young guys who went out there and got the game going and got the win. I love that. And I just love the fact that, you know what? It's losses suck. Like 10, 11, 12, they suck. It's not fun to lose. And I understand that, people wanted the better draft position, but Portland's still sitting in a fine spot, right? They're still sitting in a spot where they could jump into the top 3 or even get number 1. It's not out of the realm of possibility. I do need to go break down the numbers again because I remember breaking them down last season, and then shame on me. Shame on me. I did not save it all. But every single year, I think it's 2 years. In the last 20 years, only 2 years has the team who entered the draft 1, 2, 3 ended after the lottery 1, 2, and 3, right? Every single year, someone outside of that top four has jumped in. Things have been shaken up. So it's one of those situations where you just never know how it's all going to pile out, right? So you just got to take it and understand it, and then just go in and see what happens, man, and see what happens. Be fine with it. You got to remember, it was what last year Portland ended where 5. They ended up getting all the way up to number 3, and that's how they got Scoot Henderson, right? And Detroit, they were terrible. They're going to finish. Nope, Detroit fell in the draft because San Antonio jumped up. So you just never know where you're going to be. You're still at a good spot in number 5. Being 1, 2, or 3 might be percentage wise a little bit better. But again, we'll still see where things shake out. It is weird because again, I talk about people jumping up in the draft. Interestingly, like Portland is sitting at number 5 right now. So again, if the season ended right now, they're at number 5. But when you look at the chart of how things break down, that's actually the spot they have the least percentage chance of actually getting when it's all said and done, just a 2.2% chance. And again, you predict people will jump up, and if someone jumps up, that pushes you back. In fact, if Portland ends at 5, the pick that they have the greatest possibility of getting is the 7th pick, a 26.7% chance, a 10.5% chance of ending 1, 2, and 3, and 4, 19.6% chance of ending at 6. So again, there's so many things here that can move and shake and mess stuff around. I mean, if you end at 4, you have the highest chance of getting the number 6 overall pick at 24.6%. If you end number 3, like Charlotte is right now, you still have the highest percent chance of getting what? Oh, 6 at 27.1%. So it is. It's not like this is it, right? There's still a lot to be decided once you get down to the NBA draft lottery, right? And you never know who's going to be good either, right? Because you can get late second rounders like Tamani Kamara, who has been absolutely incredible. You can get all sorts of guys who come in who you're like, oh, yeah, he's going to have to work a little bit, but if he figures it out, he's going to be a good player. One of those players is Jabari Walker, right? Jabari Walker, I thought he was a guy that when he came drafted, they all said defense was how he was going to get on the court. He's been good on that end. The offense is coming around, and glass cleaning, he put a full-on display against Charlotte. He is becoming a grinder. He's the type of player you love to have on your roster. He's like shades of like Brian Grant to me. And it's not just because they both have the awesome hair, right? It's just, dude, he's just a hustler. He loves getting down in the paint. He loves banging. He's the lunch pail and hard hat type of guy, right? And watching him grow has been so fun over this season because you can tell he put in the work in the offseason, and it's really paying off. And again, when you go and you have a career high 22 rebounds, I know coach said 23. It was originally 23. They ended up fixing the box score. I think they took one away. It might have been the last one because he did get a rebound there right as the clock expired. They might have put it in, but then he took that one off. But he had a chance to talk to the media in the locker room after the game.
We were just talking to Coach. He was just beaming about you. You were an absolute monster on the boards. How did tonight feel?
It felt great. That's just a result of effort, just playing for your teammates, sacrificing your body for the greater good of the team. Yeah.
How did you feel Scoot played tonight?
I didn't even notice it. I'm not gonna lie. I expect that from him. He's been doing that the last few, I don't know how many games. So, coach came in here and said something about Scoot. I didn't notice it. Me and Scoot already know what it is. I expect that from Scoot. So, just another game for him.
Getting off the 10-game losing streak, just how good does it feel to finally get that done? It seemed like this was the kind of win where everyone, you could tell, was like, let's stop this.
Yeah, you could definitely hear it. The guys start to talk about it like, dang, when's the last time we got a win? You know, we were doing all these practices, we're working really hard, but for it to end in a win, it's happy. It makes you happy, especially with the work we've been putting in on the road, practices, all that. Mm-hmm.
You guys can probably hear all of his teammates very excited for you. That just goes to show just how close this group is.
Say it one more time.
How close this group is?
Oh, yeah, no, for sure. I think even this road trip, we've gotten closer. You could just tell when we go out there. These last few specifically, I think it was destined. We were destined to get a win with just our attitude. We didn't let the loss in Miami get the best of us. We let it motivate us. So we had a close one in Orlando, and then tonight we got it.
It's gonna.
How'd you feel stepping up, taking those free throws?
I love it. I don't know. I think I'm starting to get used to the pressure. I remember the free throws in Memphis were my biggest ones, and tonight was another moment. So I kind of like wanted that. Like it gives you extra energy to get the rebound, knowing you got free throws, you're gonna get fouled. So I enjoy the big moment.
Like you said, back when you were a kid, laying on your bed, shooting at the ceiling.
It's just like that again. Just thought of it. I'm like, okay, now it's like I've been here before. So more moments. I'm gonna be at the free throw line in situations like that. That won't be the last. So now I know I can do it. It's just a matter of just repetition and staying confident.
Going against Brandon Miller tonight, what stuck out to you most about his game?
Man, he's really poised. He's a good player. It was funny because he was talking about one of the coverages that we were in, and then he could just tell the way the defenses are playing him. So you could just kind of tell that he's going to get used to seeing different coverages on him. He's really poised, takes his time. You can tell he puts a lot of work in. So I think he'll be a pretty good player.
And there you hear from Jabari Walker following that game. And again, when I talk about the wins and losses and why, sometimes they matter and sometimes they don't, again, is in this situation, the fans wanted that loss, right? Some of you wanted that loss for the tanking reasons, right? But you hear how that team was yelling his name, Bari, in the locker room, and how Brooks trying to do an interview with him, and he's getting sidetracked because he can't keep up with everyone yelling at him because they're so excited for him to go out and have that big game. And it's like, you know what? Like, that win is worth it. That's more important than where you're ending in the tank season, right? Because that's building that camaraderie. That's building that chemistry. That's building that knowledge and love for your teammates that leads to good basketball at the end of the day. Are they going to flip this thing over the what? They got 2 games here, 3-game homestand, 1 more on the road. So they're going to flip this thing on its head over the last, over the last 6 games? No, they're not. But these are the types of things that can definitely lead to good play down the road. And I'm a fan. I'm a fan of it. Absolutely a fan of it. If you want to join in on the conversation, go to youtube.com, type in Rip City Radio, where we're still talking about video game playing. Shout out to Jim. He's like, yeah, they invested, Rip City Radio invested in Burkhardt. Now he has no time to play video games. Ain't that the truth? I still get to play every once in a while. I am passing that torch to my children. They love playing now. My daughter, oh my gosh, Peyton, she gets mad intense. She'll start crying if the game doesn't go her way, and I don't even stop it because that's exactly how her dad was growing up. But I've been fighting the urge to get back into Red Dead Redemption 2. I play a ton of NBA 2K, pick and rolls all day long, baby. I don't play online. It's just too much for me. I got some people who are really good. Enjoy a nice solo player. As I just typed in the chat, Brotato, that's like $5. I think it's free on Game Pass too. Well worth it. Sit down. And let's see, Killer Clowns from Outer Space game. Is that one coming? It's supposed to be like Dead by Daylight. I might. I'll try it. I'll try anything because Dead by Daylight's another one I like a lot. So that's a fun one. There's been some, it's often imitated. They have some good ones out there trying to keep up with it, but you just can't beat the original. And shout out to Dead by Daylight. It is nowhere close to the game it was when it fully released because they're constantly changing and trying to evolve, and I love that. I've also heard really good things about Helldivers 2 bricks and joysticks. I haven't got a chance to dive in on that, but no pun intended. Do need to get in on that. But yeah, gaming's where it's at. I'm just going to start streaming again. I do have my Twitch set up. I just haven't streamed for a long time. Maybe we'll get there. I'll start playing video games and talking sports with you guys, and bricks and joysticks, and Jim and Fall River will come in and chat with me. Again, if you want to chat, youtube.com, type in Rip City Radio. You can always grab the phone, 503-248-0620 as well, or you can follow me on Twitter at Chris J. Burkhardt. When we come back, it's time for your Coors Cold Hard Truce, and I'll have another 4-pack of Hillsboro Hop tickets for you as well. Chris Burkhardt here on your home of the Blazers and your Hillsboro Hops, Rip City Radio 620. Money, 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 money. Money. I need more of it so I can go buy more video games that I don't play. Shout out to the YouTube chatters getting me excited. I want to go play some video games now. Jeez. I need to just change it. Turn in my Shacker. Can you help me out here? Can we request some more work laptops? But can we make sure that they're up to a code for gaming so I can game on my work laptop?
I used to have a PS3 in the studio.
Okay, well that's something. That's something. I'll take a PS3 in the studio. I mean, dated technology, but it still plays. But yeah, we need to get gaming laptops on the company card. That's for sure. All right, it's time now for our Coors Cold Hard Truths. And you know what? I think it's easy to look at how this team has been playing and look at that game in Charlotte and go, you know what? I think some of these young guys are starting to find their groove. They're still going to take their lumps and their bumps over the next 6 games. But man, to go see Scoot go out there and have that 20-10 game again, the 4th of this season, matching Damian Lillard's 4 that he had for the second most by a Blazer rookie, to be the only rookie in this class to have a 20-10 game once, let alone 4 times. Like he's good, guys. Yes, he hasn't been the elite that you want, but the numbers still bear out. He's a good player. And I think when he figures it all out, he's going to be even better. And I think the hard part here is you can look at Scoot Henderson and see that he was drafted number 3 overall and want him to be great. But I do not believe that this team drafted him to be the best player on this team. I truly do not. I think they want Shea to be that guy. And if it's not Shea, they want to find him in the draft. They want a big guard or a forward to take that mantle. And then when you have a Scoot on Henderson on your roster as like your second guy, you're in a real good spot. He's your third guy, real good spot. I don't think they drafted him to be the number 1 guy. Maybe be the leader, right? When it's all said and done. And I truly see that in him. He has those leadership qualities. But I don't think they drafted him to be the number 1 scorer. I think they drafted him because you had games like this where he has 10 assists and he can set players up. And as he becomes a better scorer, then he's going to get that G word, right? Gravity. He's going to get gravity and he's going to start to draw defenses. And the more he starts to draw defenses, the more he's going to start getting those assist numbers up because he's going to be able to throw that pass out, right? So I like Scoot. I like him a lot. And then you see the performances from guys like Jabari Walker, right? Go out there and get 22 rebounds like it's nothing, just cleaning the glass, man. It's just incredible to watch some of these young guys progress. And I know people get all upset because they want the wins and, 20 of them's not enough. And then they get to the point where, they're not going to have enough wins no matter what. So now I want losses because I want a better draft pick. But when you see the team go out there and play like that, and then you can actually see the progression that the young guys are making, I like that. To me, that's fun to watch, okay? I know, again, everyone's going to fan different and look for different things. But I like seeing that growth, and then I can hope that they put that together in the long run. And next year, you start to see that improvement, and they get to 30 wins or what have you, and then you're like, okay, now you're on that upward trajectory. Still not great, but you're no longer down, right? You're back up, and that is good to see, and I like that a lot. Also, I mean, it is a simple truth that we've talked about before. Have fun with this roster, though. 6 games left. Enjoy it because a lot of these players who are playing right now might not be on the roster, or if they are, they aren't going to be playing next year a lot of times, right? Justin Minaya, maybe even Chris Murray, Rayon Rupert, they still have a lot of learning to do on a healthy roster. Where do they fit? Dwop Reith, if you have DeAndre Ayton and Robert Williams, where does he fit? I mean, he's on the roster, definitely, but how often is he playing? So enjoy this moment where you get to watch these guys because you don't know how much you get to watch them in the years to come as this team continues to build its roster. And again, you got the NBA draft coming up. The Blazers say they finish in the top 4 or whatever. I mean, do they use that pick? Do they trade back for more picks? Like, because you could say they finish 4th. Maybe they don't see the guy they want, so they trade back and they get, the 10th pick and a future lottery pick as well. And like, they're still moving and shaking to happen, right? So we'll see what happens down the road there. Also, another cold hard fact for me is not related to the Blazers, but man, how lucky is Sacramento fans? Yeah, that's right. Baseball on the mind. Sacramento gets to watch Major League Baseball for the next 2 years, right? I don't know if you paid attention, but there's been some moving and some shaking in Oakland. Oakland trying to get to Las Vegas, but that stadium deal keeps getting pushed around. Oakland has had funding and help from the city, but they don't want to stay there for some reason because their owner might be one of the worst in sports. And now they've announced that they get to go and they're going to play for the next 2 seasons after this one in Sacramento, who has a double A or triple A ballpark, and it seats 14,000 people. And then people are like, that's not a lot of people for a major league stadium. Yeah, well, they play in Oakland, which is giant. They only draw like 6, so it'll be just fine. But it'd be nice to go field a pro team for a little bit. And I saw someone say, what if they made it to the World Series? What if over those 2 years they made it to the World Series and the World Series has to be played in a minor league baseball stadium? Yeah, unless they were playing the Giants, they'd probably move it over to Oracle so they could play in an actual baseball park, major league standards. But again, you've seen this happen before. Teams playing in smaller stadiums. The Chargers played at the soccer stadium in Carson. The Coyotes of the NHL, they play at Arizona State Stadium, I think it is, which is tiny. But again, those are still in like your relative market. You're not playing an hour and a half drive inland to the state. You're not even in the Bay anymore, right? So shout out Sacramento. Also, this is one to watch, fans, because I've already seen the murmurs about this. Las Vegas, they're dragging their feet with this whole stadium thing. So you never know what happens because Oakland might end up falling through and they might need a new home, and they have already killed their relationship with the city of Oakland. And guess what? Maybe that's where the Portland Diamond Project swoops in. Salt Lake City also doing a good job trying to get their funding as well. Also, I just talked baseball, so now is a perfect time to give away that final 4-pack of Hillsboro Hops tickets for the game on Sunday against the Everett Aqua Sox. You know what? It's the third 4-pack I'm giving out. So caller number 3, 503-248-0620, you'll have a 4-pack to see the Hillsboro Hops take on the Everett Aqua Sox on opening weekend there at Hillsboro Ballpark. Caller number 3, 503-248-0620. One more time, that phone number, 503-248-0620. Caller number 3 will win a 4-pack to see the Hillsboro Hops take on the Everett Aqua Sox there at Hillsboro Ballpark. Is that what they're calling it now? Hillsboro Ballpark? It's not Hillsboro Stadium. Hillsboro Baseball Stadium. Something. Changed their name, but, have fun out there. It's a great place. It's an absolute great time. I'll tell you that much. I took my wife there years and years and years ago. I think it was their first year, actually. Maybe their second, but we went there on our anniversary, caught a foul ball. The ballpark dogs are good. They have a top-notch product for what was then single A short season, and now they do single A, a regular long season. They play, 160 some odd games. It's fun, or I guess 140. I don't know the exact number. I just know they play a lot, and it's it's fun. It's absolutely fun out there. And I think Dwight said it yesterday. They were down there for media day. And like Dwight said, the future stars of tomorrow, you get to watch them today. And I think Seth Hoyland and Rich Burke said the number was like 340, 350 future major league ball players have played at that stadium in the decade that has been there, whether it was for Hillsboro or Salem Kaiser or Eugene or whatnot. And 50 Hops have gone on to play in Major League Baseball. I think Seth Hoyland threw out the number was 10 of them. 11 on the roster, and 10 of them played in the World Series for the Diamondbacks last season. So that's pretty awesome. It's pretty awesome. Real good baseball going on down there. And if you are caller number 3, you get to enjoy it. All right, we're going to take our final break here on Blazers Game Day. When we come back, I'm going to give you my keys to the game. Tell you what the Blazers need to do to win their second game in a row. This time, stopping in the nation's capital to take on the Wizards. Chris Burkhart here with you on your home of the Blazers and your Hillsboro Hops. Rip City Radio 620. Welcome back into Blazers Game Day. Chris Burkhart here with you. Chad Doing is waiting in Studio C. He is going to have your Blazers pregame show across the Trailblazers radio network. And then at 4 o'clock, it's Blazers versus Wizards right here on your home of the Blazers, Rip City Radio 620. It is time now for our keys to the game. And this one's pretty simple, man. First off, it was so nice to see the team clean up on the glass in the last game, right? They out-rebounded Charlotte, 55-36. However, that's not going to be the case every single night, especially for a team like Trailblazers. This isn't a great rebounding team on average. So if that number falls tonight, then there's one thing that's going to be another key to victory, and we've seen it hurt them already, and that's the free throw discrepancy, and I'm going to hammer that one home again. I do not understand how this team does not get to the line. In that game against the Hornets, Charlotte got to the line 22 times. Portland got there just 12. The Hornets hit 17. Portland hit just 8. That's a +9 from the line. That kept Charlotte in the game, and quite frankly, if Portland didn't win the rebound battle, it would have won the game for Charlotte. So you got to get to the line. And the thing is, you have guys on your roster who I think have the required play style to get to the line. Guys like Jabari, guys like Scoot, guys like Delano Banton, guys who like to either drive to the paint and be aggressive. Banton and Scoot like to do that. Or guys who like to take the ball down low and bang in the paint. Jabari likes to do that. Ayton likes to do that too. And those are the type of guys that can get rewarded with trips to the free throw line. So I need to see those guys get aggressive. Aggression is key here. I need to see Scoot just full on, go full speed to the basket. And if he gets fouled, he gets fouled. But guess what? He gets to go to the line, and he's going to get free throws. And then you got to take advantage of him while you're there. I mean, Scoot Henderson had just 2 free throw attempts in that game. He missed both of them. But how many times have we seen, again, through the years, Damian Lillard get to the line 10, 11, 12 times? You look at James Harden, people hate his game, but he got so many high point performances and changed the game because of his ability to get to the free throw line and take advantage of those easy buckets. There's nights where he's sitting there, he's 13, 14, 15 trips to the line, and he's just hitting 90% of them. And those are free points, and you got to take advantage of that. So I want to see those guys get aggressive. Secondarily, I want to see the assist numbers get up. Again, rebound numbers were great. It was nice that they got the win, but the assist numbers were low again, just 19 assists, right around their season average. They need to get that number up. We've seen the games when they get into 25, 26, 27, 28, get close to 30, and how good the offense looks when they do. And I want to see more of that. I know you do too, right? So I want to see the assist numbers get up there. And then again, I just get out there. I want to see that aggression on the glass again in this one. They took advantage of Charlotte being the worst rebounding team in the NBA at just 40.5. And Portland's not that much better. I mean, Portland averages just 42.1. But again, they took advantage of a team that's not great on the glass, and their 2 best rebounders went absolute ham on them, right? Had a good rebounding game. Well, the second worst rebounding team in the NBA, it's the Washington Wizards. So take advantage again, clean up on the glass, get things done, and I think you maybe come away with your second victory in as many games. Again, just have some fun. Go out there, ball, baby. All right, that music means one thing and one thing only. That means it's time to wrap up the pregame show. But don't worry, we still got plenty to get to. Chad Doing has your Trailblazers pregame show coming up next across the Trailblazers radio network. And then 4 o'clock, it's Blazers versus Wizards right here on your home of the Blazers, Rip City Radio 620. Travis Demers and Michael Holton on the call. As Chad would say if he were here, show me your Blazer.